to another video from ES for Business and Life video. For Business and Life. Okay, so today we have Unit 11, Beginner's Book, and we will be covering the grammar. That grammar is extremely important. You can please download this video to your computer if possible. Watch it many times. Why? Because it's very important. You will need to watch this video several times if you want to really master this grammar structure. Today's objective, the simple past. Sounds simple, but it is also very important. We will cover only the affirmative and the negative this time around. Next unit, we will be covering the question forms. Okay, the simple past, its definition, it is used for complete actions in the past, obviously. But don't forget that. But the thing that is not obvious always is that these actions are complete. They started and finished in the past. Later on, this will become more logical to you. Also, remember using the simple past correctly is very important. If we do not use the simple past, did I say present? Well, anyways, simple past correctly, your English will never be good enough. So don't forget, practice this one a lot. The affirmative has three parts. It's only the subject, the verb in past, and the complement. Example, we bought this house 3 years ago. Subject, verb in past, complement. Also, a little quotation mark here. 3 years ago is a time expression. Very important to mention or to know that this was in the past. Alright, example number 1 and number 2 and number 3. She played tennis for 4 years. She played tennis for 4 years. Number 2. We lived in Mexico City all our life. We lived in Mexico City all our life. Number 3. I saw a great movie last weekend. I saw a great movie last weekend. Let's label these and see if they follow the formula. We have she, we, and I, and they are the subject. Do we have a verb in the past form? Yes, we do. We have played, past. We have lived, and we have saw. Do we have a complement? Yes, we do. Tennis for 4 years, in Mexico City all our life, and a great movie last weekend. Do we happen to have a time expression? Yes, we do, sir. We have 4 years and we have last weekend. Let's move on. Now, the negative form of the past simple or the simple past is now it has 4 parts. It is very important that we pay attention here. If you pay attention, this will save you a lot of mistakes or errors. The formula for the simple past in negative is subject, auxiliary didn't, verb in simple form, and complement. If you notice, this verb is not in the past. And why is that? Because we have the auxiliary didn't. When the auxiliary didn't is present, the verb is in simple form or in simple present, if you want to call it that way. The example, she didn't send me any text. She didn't send me any text. We will go back here again so that to remind you of this, which is very important. Example, I didn't drink any water. I didn't drink any water. Example number 2. She didn't like my story. She didn't like my story. Example number 3. We didn't finish our homework. We didn't finish our homework. Let's check the labeling here. Do we have a subject? Yes, we do. We have I, she, and we. Do we have an auxiliary in the negative form, which is didn't? Yes, we do. We have didn't, and we have didn't. Do we have a verb in simple form? Yes, we do. We have drink, like, and finish. Do we have a complement? Of course we do. We have any water, my story, and our homework. Time expressions. I don't see time expressions here, but in this case it wasn't. They were not necessary. Let's finish the labeling. Don't forget this is the subject. This is the auxiliary didn't. Auxiliary in negative in the past. And do we have a verb? Yes, we do. Don't forget what verb. What form of verb is it in? Verb in simple form, verb in simple form, and verb in simple form. And, well, our famous complement. Okay, now don't forget that also about talking about verbs, it is very important, and probably your teacher will explain this later on, but it is very important to know that we have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Yes? Don't forget that a verb is an action, too. Okay, regular verbs have the ed ending. For example, we have visited, ed ending, cleaned, ed ending, and played, ed ending. Alright, let's erase that so that there isn't much mess there. Okay, the second thing to remember is that, well, they are easy to remember. Why? Because they always have this ending, ed ending. Some examples are the ones that I already mentioned, which are play, visit, and clean. In past, played, visited, and cleaned. We are going to check the pronunciation of the verbs, more specifically the irregular verbs in the past, later in a different video. Now, the irregular verbs are a little bit different. They are irregular because they don't follow a pattern. For example, we have drink, and drink changes to drank. Go changes to went, and see changes to saw. Yes, this is why it is necessary to memorize them. It takes some time. You will not like this very much, but it is something that is necessary. Okay, example here we have, we visited grandma last night. This is a regular verb in past. You notice that the simple form is visit, and it changes to visited or visited. Or we have, we went to Orlando last year. Irregular verb in past. As you can see, the original form is go, and it changes to went. And also, don't forget, the simple past is very, very, very important. Let's recap a little bit before we go. The objective was simple past in affirmative and negative forms. Formulas, subject, verb in past, complement. The verb in past is only used in the affirmative form, because in the negative, we have the verb that is in simple form, not in past. Why? Because we have the presence of our good friend didn't. Regular verbs have an ed ending. They are easy to remember, and there are some examples here. Irregular verbs don't follow a pattern. While it's very important or necessary to remember them by memorizing them. And here we had some examples too. All right. Okay, well, that would be it. Thank you very much. One more time. Thank you for paying attention and listening to my voice. Goodbye. See you on our next video in Unit 12.